Do you need some creative tips to hide the ugly in your yard and your landscape? Well, I have some great tips for you today.
Do you break into a sweat with even the thought of having company? I'm here to help. After trying just a few of my hosting tips, you'll be more than ready to say, come on over.
Every house is going to have a downspout, and if you don't, you're going to have bigger problems. But here we are, is stretching across, and maybe yours is not at the front of your house like this one is, but if it's somewhere that you don't want it to be seen, we have ways to camouflage part of that downspout. What we're doing today is we're adding autumn ferns and hostas to an already started hosta bed that will eventually fill in and hide this brown downspout. And this is actually a great idea because it blends in with the soil. So what's great about the autumn fern is that it's a perennial, meaning that it comes back every year. And if it's protected pretty well from the elements in the Mid-South, it doesn't really die back. Mine don't. And even though the tag says they are a height of 2 feet max, mine are 3 feet.
Bragging, sir.
So I think with the right conditions, the right watering, these can be exactly what you need to hide the ugly. So we already have a hole dug here because who needs to see me dig a hole? I'm gonna add some biotone fertilizer because everything is better when it's started with biotone or some sort of fertilizer.
That is one big pile of
You just pop this out and the roots look pretty good. It's not really heavily rooted in. I might just dig them up a little bit, little separation, put it in the spot here. I'm leaving the taller parts here towards the back. And then I'm just gonna backfill with the native soil. That means the soil where the hole was dug, because you don't wanna introduce something too crazy rich for a number of reasons. One, we have armadillos in this area. Yes, armadillos. And while that sounds really fun, not.
I need a little help here.
They like to nose in around really good, rich dirt. And while they don't eat your plant, they do dig it up. And if it's days before you find it, it has dried out. Okay, so we have 2 of these actually. And you could have as many as you wanted here. But we're gonna start with 2, see how it goes. And you might be wondering what I just did there. I am trying to loosen it up out of the pot so that it comes right out. And there it is. Oh, this one is actually, there we go. Breaking up the root again here, just kind of dividing it up a little bit to give it a little more chance to sprout. Another thing we discovered when digging the holes is that there is a cement pad down here. So it's not a great idea to plant on top of the cement because the roots really need to go down into the dirt to do the best growing that it can do. So we went a little bit forward, and it's probably a better idea anyway. And we're going to go ahead and backfill with the native soil. And then what I suggest to all of my gardening people in this area is once planted and watered in, it's a good idea to spread some animal repellent around the freshly planted ferns. Now let's go over here and look at this beautiful hosta. You can see that we've got some really great variegated color over here. Love this one, and this will all blend together and be beautiful. We may add some more later. This is kind of a cross between that and that. It is called a Hudson Bay hosta. And I think we just picked this up locally at a big box store. I'm gonna go ahead and add some more organic fertilizer in the hole. It doesn't need much. These aren't exactly flowering. The hosta will do a little spike of flower, but not a enormous one. And I'm gonna add some more soil down here. Here's some here. Get it in there nice and broken up and just set it down in there. Now some people have trouble with deer and other creatures enjoying the hosta leaves.
You gotta really bob and weave and dodge them bullets.
So I always say to them, some sort of deterrent like There is a deer and rabbit deterrent you can get. You sprinkle it around. You can also use Milorganite, which is an organic fertilizer. And with hostas in particular, the slugs like to come in at night, especially if it's rained. You'll want to get some slug bait to put around the hostas, which this homeowner has already been doing, which is why they look this good. And just keep everything fresh and beautiful. And I'm going to move these away so you can see what the look is going to be once all these things are taller. So these will be this tall or higher. Mine are actually waist high. And they will come out fresh like this and be green and beautiful and hide what we don't want to see. We're over here with a gutter drain that came from the sunroom over there, and it's all the way down and under the ground until here. So other than the tripping hazard it would be for me, it's just not a very good look. So what we're going to do is create kind of a rock garden with some creeping jenny and lantana, which are very, very hardy in the harsh afternoon sun, which is what these plants will get. So what I've done is kind of dug around the drain, not into the drain, or I also don't want the water, I don't want a plant to be here getting the water coming right out into the plant. So we're going on the sides. And on the sides, I'm going to go ahead, throw a little biotone in there to start it. And you can see the roots are a little crazy there. I'm going to dig the hole, and I'm going to put my plants in first and then form my rocks around it. Now, the first time that this water is going to come down here, we'll have to come out and check it and make sure that the water that's coming out is not washing away the dirt. The rock should help with that, but it doesn't hurt to check it, make sure. So this is up and away from the drain. It should be okay. The other one I'm going to put back here, and it's actually going to be between rocks. I might give it just a bit more of a stir. And you can see the roots. It's gotten pretty root bound, but not horribly. I just broke it up a bit. I'm going to put it in here, and this is actually going to sit up a little higher. And so we'll want to check this because, of course, it is going downhill. So you would expect some of this soil to run, but it is surrounded by rocks. So I'm going to put this rock back up against it. I want it to be kind of blocking in the dirt here, and then I will lay more rock on here to kind of build it up and make it pretty. The creeping jenny is awesome. If you keep it in shade, it stays more green. If you put it in the sun, it gets more yellow, which is why we're using this combination together. It's really quite striking. And it will volunteer back the next year, probably, and these may also. And so this is a good way to find out. So, creeping jenny, you almost can't kill it. It's so hardy.
Hello, Forest.
Hello, Jenny.
I'm going to put that back behind here, throw in just a little bit of biotone. It doesn't need much. Kind of stir up the roots just a bit. And this is the top one. I've got it a little higher than it probably wants to be, but that's okay. I'm going to get a little bit of this dirt down here and pack it in. And Tennessee dirt is pretty clay-based, so it should stay in. Oh, there's a worm. You know your soil is good when you've got a worm. And, oh, just like that, he's gone. A little camera shy.
Super worm!
So I'm going to put in some dirt and some rock around here and help it stay up, and then it should fall over. So let's go ahead and place some stones. I'm going to put this here and another one on top of it. And then let's go with this over here. Maybe, maybe not. Let me rethink that. I might go with the smaller one here. That's a little prettier. And I'm going to go with this one up a little higher. Kind of keep it tight up against here. And you know, you have to mess around with it to really get them like you want. It's never right the first time, ever. But the whole goal is to hide this thing. So let's keep working towards that. All right, here's another great example of a nice rock that could get in there. And up here now, I'm gonna go ahead and hide the top of this with this little guy. And here's some shale that I'm just gonna put in there. It's just a really thin piece. I'm gonna put it in here, do a little more hiding. And what we have left is this giant rock, which, let me see if I can do a little better job of hiding this. Maybe with this, because you're really just hiding it from the top view, not from the bottom view. All right, I'm having a little trouble here getting this to do exactly what I want it to, but we're gonna work it out. There we go. This is a little better, like this, and put some more layers in. And I have more stone that I may come in with and change it up a bit. I don't want this to slide down here and decapitate my beautiful antennas.
With their heads!
So I may have to mess with this a bit more, but I've got the basic look going that I want. And you can keep fussing with it. It doesn't have to be perfect the first time or the second time or even the fifth time. Just keep working with it until you feel like it's become more of a feature than an eyesore.
Come on over. Now go make someone feel special today.